what's going on?
Uh, who was that? There. The one that looks like you. Inari called her she-wolf?
Yes, that is perhaps not something we should be discussing here.
We could go to my church.
I suppose that's more private than here.
Gives me an excuse to finally come and see it.
Alright, well, then shall we go?
You go first, we'll follow. So you had some questions, Cirawyn.
I'd say probably more than a few. Who is she-wolf?
Well, everybody has... It's a rare chance. Someone that looks a lot like them. That is what she-wolf is for me. It's just random chance she looks so similar.
That's not what Inari told me.
Indeed. Maybe you should actually think of telling the truth for once. Why don't you tell the truth, Mother?
I suppose Sarah should get the actual truth rather than the public. She-wolf was an accident. When I was a lot younger than I am now, I wanted to try being mortal, tried to turn myself mortal, and it created she-wolf instead. I remained myself, and she-wolf became a separate entity.
As far as I know, it matches up with Inari said.
Stuff Inari shouldn't really have been speaking about.
Well, after all, you've already killed my son. There's no
What?
real
You
thing
killed
to
him
hold me back
yourself.
anymore. No. We both know you're the one that ripped the magic out.
I was wrong in ripping him out, but I did not know he was going to come along with your powers. If I had known, I would have taken your powers differently.
Well, either way, that does not make it my fault. You were the end cause for it, regardless. I'm pretty sure that's not the entire truth, Mother. After all, what about where Sarah came from?
I came from here.
Not exactly.
What does she mean, Mother?
You want to tell her? Or shall I?
You may not be made by myself, Sarah, but that doesn't mean you're not still my daughter. You were born to two others. From the end, we brought you over here, and when we made you into a god, your memories were forfeit, so you don't recall any of it. So it was just easier to allow you to believe you are my daughter, because you are.
I guess you should probably also mention about the parents. More so than just saying they were born to two others. After all,
Inari, I think that's enough. Sira can't
no,
go
no, no,
back
no, no.
to her parents, therefore there's no point reminding Sira of them.
But they do have the right to know, after all. Regardless. After all, what about their old friend? Wouldn't you want to tell them about that little incident?
I feel that's something Sira doesn't necessarily need to remember. We don't exactly want to traumatize her.
Well, I suppose, yes, you would be right. I'll concede on that. After all, that's the last thing I personally would want to do.
I'm glad we agree.
Don't get used to it. I mean, you could always take a look at the star. I'm not sure if it would remind you of anything, but
Inari, that's enough.
after all, I did say you should tell them more.
Inari? Where?
Sira, have you, since I sent Inari to the end, have you noticed Inari having been different since I sent her to her banishment?
Yes.
I believe sending her there was a mistake. It seems to have corrupted her somehow. I'm not entirely sure how. But while she was there, she did meet a woman, and I feel in part of her getting revenge on myself is working with this church to somehow remove me. We don't know how that's happening. And she did meet your mother, but I feel in her attempt to turn you against me, when I first met you, Sarah, you were very badly injured. Your kind are supposed to have an extra set of wings, which you lost. The phantoms of this dimension are the same as in the dimension you grew up in. And unfortunately, whilst you were over there, the phantoms did get hold of you and a friend of yours. Your parents, they felt the end was too dangerous. I don't think they realized phantoms were also in this dimension. But they asked me to take you away for your own safety, to keep you away from the dangers of their place. I wasn't able to take multiple people through, in which case you came through, you got healed up, and after a time, I felt you should be upgraded to a god as an apology to your parents. I don't know what's I don't know what Inari is planning on telling you about this. I hope you can believe that I wouldn't lie to you about this, Sarah.
You really gotta learn to stop that.
How?
You have no control over me anymore, remember?
No.
What? 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 Uh,
You already failed to control me once, Mother. Remember how that ended?
Inari, what do you want?
I want the truth, of course. I want you to actually say what you've been holding back. We could always start with this.
Remove it.
Mother?
Inari, remove it.
Why? What's wrong? You
Cira,
feeling a little unwell?
the dimension you came from, Cira, I have no control over it. Which is also part of the reason why you were the only one that brought through. That is a block from that dimension. Why did you feel the need to bring that here, Inari?
If you're not willing to state the truth, then I'm willing to drag it out of you. Why lie to family, especially if you consider them your daughter?
I may have withheld a couple truths, I have not lied.
It's still dishonesty.
I feel we agreed the other day that it's not dishonesty. Are you going to admit you've been extremely dishonest the last several meetings?
Well, no, I do agree with you. It's still not old information from your own family.
Sarah, the truth is, the church want their memories back, but their memories are all held within She-Wolf. And as far as I know, the only way to get those would be to destroy her. Inari seems to believe there's another way to give everyone their memories back.
And prevent unwanted consequences. At least, that is my desire.
There has to be a way. I mean, Inari is right. There has to be a way to do it without as much bloodshed. Right?
If there is a way, I'll be happy for it. I don't see how it's possible. Therefore, She-Wolf has to be protected, especially from that church. That is the truth.
Mm.
I suppose that's a beginning for telling the truth. It's still not all of it, though.
Not all the truth.
I don't think Mother will ever give the full truth. After all, that is why I got myself banished in the first place. I had to go find my own truth.
And was your finding worth it, Inari?
Well, I will admit it was a little more disgusting than I had thought, but I did find out much more than what I figured I would.
And with what you do know, you should certainly agree that some secrets have to be kept secret.
I don't believe secrets are exactly the best thing for a family, but one in particular I'm willing to keep my mouth shut about.
I think we both know if a certain someone receives their memories back. We both know how that went the last time.
I won't be the main focus of their wrath, though. I think we both know that one.
It's not the focus of the wrath that would be the issue.
It's just the nature and cycle of the world, is it not? Just as the sun comes up, and then retreats back into the set.
Neither of us want to experience that again. And I don't think the mortals would survive it either.
The mortals would be fine. I'm sure of that. Most of them, anyway.
Sarah, I feel we're confusing you. I apologize. There's certain things that, if allowed out into the open, could cause disastrous results. And
I think
Inari
that's an understatement.
is pushing her luck.
I mean, what are you going to do, Mother? Erase me?
I could.
You know that wouldn't end very well. For either of us.
It might hurt. Both of us. But it'd be easy
Only
enough.
one of us would be really hurt.
Sarah, there's no need to protect your sister. I'm not going to destroy her.
A threat once made is a threat nonetheless. You'd already threatened Cirawyn with me.
There's no need to protect Inari, Sarah. I'm not going to destroy her. After all, we both know how it feels with Zephyr, don't we, Inari?
You have no right to bring up his name anymore.
I don't see why I shouldn't. After all, it was you who destroyed him.
And as we had already said earlier, you're the one that killed him.
You're the one
It
that
was still
ended
your doing.
him.
I only took back part of my soul.
Yes, but he's not there anymore, is he?
He left the moment you took my abilities.
Abilities you offered to give to your fellow.
I doubt I would have had a choice.
You,
After all. What is it, Mother?
you could have raised a protest. Hey,
But what good would that do?
I might have given at least a second thought to the idea.
Before doing it anyway. After all, you didn't give much of a second thought to other people. Or maybe how cruel the deal would be for people coming here.
I wouldn't say
After
giving
all, past actions are a good predictor of the future.
past actions, when forgotten, are not repeated.
Muscle memory. Their minds will always remember whether their memories are there or not.
The mind can't remember what's not there.
Of course you'd think that. One day you'll understand.
You're still very naive, Inari. Perhaps I should have
Call
brought
it
you up
what you
differently.
will. Brought me up differently. You didn't even bring me up.
I gave you a world. It's
A world
all you
that
should
I
have needed.
created.
Through powers I gave you. Better than just being a nothingness in the void. Sarah, can I please request you remove that stone? Thank you.
I think I need some time. I don't know what to think.
I
We
think that's fair.
laid a lot of truths on your shoulders today. It's fair you need time to think them through.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. You have nothing to be sorry about. May the stars guide your path, little one.